London main market listed Ondo InsurTech plc is on a mission to become the world's leading provider of claims prevention technology for home insurers. Ondo's focus is on the global release of Leakbot, a broadband-based product which aims to protect homes from the impact of water damage. Craig Foster is the founder and chief executive of the business. You're a good person to talk to because you can talk a little bit about how it all started. Mm-hmm. And this little thing, the Leakbot, which I'd like to find out more about in just a minute. But first of all, InsurTech, mm-hmm. You're going to have to educate me a little bit more on what this is. It's part of your company name, but I know it's also a movement within the insurance industry, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's I guess it's a spin of fintech at the end of the day. So it's a broad brush term used to describe the impact of new and emergent technologies on the entire industry of insurance. So there's a few kind of large technology trends, the Internet of Things being one, artificial intelligence being another, where these technologies, like on lots of industries, are having major impacts on just the way those industries operate. So InsurTech is a kind of catch-all term to cover both kind of challenger companies like Hippo or Lemonade in the United States that are taking on the incumbent insurers, but it also captures companies like us who are collaborating and helping the incumbent insurers to compete in this new world, leveraging these types of technologies.
So for those of the IG clients looking at this, the people that want new investment opportunities, what is the investment case of the business?
Well, it's an exciting opportunity to invest in an early stage technology company that solves a huge global problem with proven traction and a patented technology. So we solve this huge problem for home insurers specifically. We're already exporting the solution to the United States, to Scandinavia, but we're still at the start of that process, given the huge potential for the business. So it's an opportunity to follow that story as we go through lots of gears of growth.
Yeah, talk to me about this. Mm-hmm. This is the Leakbot, mm-hmm. which I referred to at the top. Explain more about it, because that, to me, is a central part of what you're doing.
Yeah, sure. So this is a solution. It's both a sensor that we invented, but it also links through an app to an in-home service. And it's designed specifically to solve the problem of water damage claims for home insurance.
So explain more about how it works, because mm-hmm. it's got a little clip on the back. Clearly it's functional in terms of the plumbing of a house.
Yeah, sure. So insurance companies offer this for free as part of your home insurance policy. We send that in a post, and then to install that, you just clip that to a pipe. You know where the stop tap is in your home, where the mains water comes into the property, Jeremy? So you just clip that, and that single unit can detect a leak anywhere on a mains water system, and it's really sensitive, down to about 3 millilitres per minute.
So it's measuring incoming water, and if that temperature changes, that indicates a leak.
Yeah, so we invented basically a new way of detecting leaks in homes. So it measures the temperature of the incoming water through the pipe, but there's a second temperature thermistor that's measuring the ambient temperature. Mm-hmm. And the thing that we realised is that, let's say it's a quiet time, you're out of the house or you go to bed at night. If there's no flow of water through the property, the water stands still in the pipe. So there's no difference between those two temperature readings. If there's a leak, and it doesn't matter how big the house is or where the leak is, if there's a constant draw of water, there's a tiny difference in the two temperatures. So that enables us to detect a leak very accurately in a home. And we own the patents on that idea all around the world. And that's actually the only known way of detecting a small leak like that in a house without actually physically cutting the pipe.
So who monitors this, or how am I told there could potentially be a problem?
So our systems are automatically, it connects over Wi-Fi. So our back-end servers are monitoring that 24 hours a day. If we detect a leak, we send a message through to the app on your phone, and you can do some diagnostics here, but ultimately the clever part is we can then connect you with one of our plumbers to come and find and fix the problem in the home. And all of that is free, provided by your home insurer. Now, home insurers pay us a recurring fee for every home that we protect. And the reason why they do that is because the annual claims cost, if you just take the US and the UK combined, there's £15 billion every year paid out just rectifying the damage caused by these types of leaks in houses. So you imagine, you know where the pipework is in your house, Jeremy, same as everybody else. It's hidden behind walls, hidden in ceilings. You can't see it. So when one of those joints goes on the pipe, it starts off as a very, very small leak, but you don't know that there's a problem until it's too late. You only find out there's a problem when you see mold on the wall or there's some kind of damage caused, and that's easily a 3, 5, 10,000 pounds claim.
Of course, you do have to identify where that leak is. Of course, that is another set of problems, I guess, which the plumber has to overcome when they visit the property. Where's this made?
So we manufacture them today in a factory in Bedford in the UK. So currently made in England,
Right.
But you know, we understand that manufacturing process very well. So as we expand, we'll probably open different facilities around the world.
Yeah. Insurance companies, can you name names of companies you're engaging with at the moment?
Yeah, sure. So we obviously started here in the UK. So we work with the likes of Admiral, Direct Line, Hiscox were the very first insurer anywhere in the world to roll out this type of technology as a core part of their product offering. We also work with 3 different insurers in Denmark. The largest insurer in Sweden, Lancer Schaffringar. So many Brits may have not heard of them, but they got 30-odd% market share in the Swedish market, and they're in the process now of rolling out this solution across their 2 million customer base. And we've got a nascent business in the US now, where we signed a couple of insurers, Pure and Mutual of Employer, earlier in the year. But the breakthrough came just before Christmas, where we signed a deal with Nationwide, not to be confused with Nationwide Building Society in England, in the UK, but Nationwide are one of the largest financial services companies in the United States, one of the top 10 homeowners insurers, and we're due to launch with them in the United States.
What about water companies? Do you engage with water companies at all?
It's a really interesting question. I mean, our business, we've really focused on solving this problem specifically for the insurance industry. But last year, what happened, Jeremy, is we were approached by Portsmouth Water, who actually came to us and said, look, we've got a problem where we want to drive more water efficiency, and we've realised that there's lots of leaks on the customer side in the home. Can we try and use your product and see if we can drive down just water consumption? And what we realised is we find loads of leak and overflows on toilets. So you know when you go to the loo sometimes and you see the water just running down the back? It doesn't look like a lot of water, but they actually waste anywhere between 200 and 400 litres a day. And what I now realise is the water industry have recognised this as a massive systemic problem. About 8% of those toilets are leaking. So if you fixed all of them, it's enough water to meet the needs of about 3 million extra people in the UK. So in that Portsmouth Water trial, we showed that in 6 months we could reduce the leakage in homes by 60%. And then those results were shared across the industry through a communication partnered with Ofwat, with the UK regulator. So that's more of an early form idea. We just launched another trial with Southern Water recently, but definitely more to come on that. And it's interesting because it's the same solution in the same home, solves 2 different problems, one for the water industry and one for the insurance industry. So it's an interesting thing to see if we can get both industries to collaborate on the cost and deploy this at a much bigger scale.
Let me talk a little bit more about how you go about the process of when you establish a leak, how you go about doing this. You were talking about sending your own people out. I guess you're talking about what's happening over here. I mean, America's a very big place.
Yeah.
And despite the fact you're with a couple of really big names out there, there are some very outlying locations. You can't possibly get your people out there to fix it. How do you operate that sort of network?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, I mean, the first thing is, the first misperception is to scale the product, we need huge armies of plumbers, because the key from our business model point of view is it's only a small % of the actual installed devices that actually require a call out, because obviously most of the properties haven't got a leak. And then even the ones that have, a lot of customers can find the problem. A tap's been left on, you've left on an outside tap or something like that. So it's a % of the base that require an engineer visit. So we really base our efficiency on most of our plumbers doing a minimum of 1 job per day at the beginning. So actually we can cover quite big geographic areas with a single plumber at the start. So yeah, today, I mean, we employ the plumbers ourselves. They're in a Leakbot uniform doing work just for us. But that said, it's not necessary for us to employ the plumbers. In Sweden, the insurer uses their own network of plumbers to get the repairs done. So it's a good question for the United States. If one of our partners was to say, okay, we want to roll this out across all of the US, how do you solve that problem? It's an interesting strategic problem for us to try and solve, but a nice problem to have.
Yeah. Let's bring up a share price chart. As I said, you've been in the market a couple of years now. I think 2022 you listed. Share price chart here showing 27.5 pence. Your main market listed, as I said. I think that equates to about £24 million market cap. As CEO and founder, someone that has a vision of this, what is this telling us in terms of where you are in the market, which didn't exist before you came into it? So you're talking about what, $15 billion opportunity? Is that what you said at the top?
Yeah.
A £24 million market cap company. Are you up against any competition, first of all? Is there a market already here that you have only just established, or what is it?
There's no other solution like ours because, as I explained, Jeremy, this is a unique way of solving this problem.
With your own patent on the product, yeah.
There are some competitor products, most notably in the United States, where they're a plumbed-in solution. So you send an engineer into the home, cut the pipe, and install something in line.
Okay.
So they're about as sensitive as our solution, but they're about $500 plus the cost of an install. Yeah, so it's very invasive. Yeah. So this would make sense in like a super high net worth property where they had, very, very expensive homeowners insurance, where that would make sense to pay for that. But as a mass market solution, we don't really have any direct competition. So I think this is why insurers in Europe, but also in the United States, are really excited when they see this solution, because they're looking for a scalable solution to this problem. It's a persistent problem for them in terms of the value of the claims that get generated. It's about a third of all the claims on a home insurance policy. And insurers, for the last few years have believed that there could potentially be a solution with this kind of Internet of Things solution, but nothing's quite added up from a business case where there's a return on investment. Whereas we are now working with 15 different insurers. Some, like Hiscox, have been doing this for a number of years and monitoring the claim savings, and they just want to do more and more as they see the results. So we really believe we've uniquely got a scalable solution to this problem. And we're obviously, we're just scratching the surface. About a year and a bit ago, we added up of the contracts that we've signed, how many households could we get into through those partners, and it added up to about 500,000. And at the time, we'd already penetrated about 10% of that opportunity. With a couple of recent deals we've signed with Lancashire, Schaffhausen nationwide, that 500,000 is already 5 million homes that we could get in with the deals that we've already signed. So even just a 10% penetration of the deals we've already signed is a much bigger business than we are today.
So how do you pitch that then to investors or potential investors in terms of where you're going? Because if anybody pays 27.5 pence a share, they want to know what the return's going to be, whether it's growth or income or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're going to ask you as the chief executive, I want some of my money back if I'm in return for helping you.
Yeah.
What do you say to that then? How do you quantify the potential?
Yeah, it's maybe not for me to put a price target on it, but our brokers Dowgate have put a 50 pence price target on the stock in the near term. And, but the potential, like I mentioned, Jeremy, it is huge, given that we've got a proprietary solution to such a big problem. The business can easily get to that price target if we didn't sign any new deals, just by executing on the ones that we've already, executing with Lancashire, Schaffhausen and the nationwide deal that we've already signed. But obviously our plan is to sign a lot more deals besides that. So yeah, this is just the start of the story.
And what's your background to all this? Because clearly you come to it with a unique angle on what has been a problem for insurance and water companies. But what is your background?
So, my background's in product development. So I worked for the American company Procter & Gamble for many years as a brand manager. But I had a stint at HBOS, before you remember Halifax Bank of Scotland before the Lloyds acquisition, and I ran home insurance marketing there. So a bit of experience in home insurance. And then the genesis for this product, Jeremy, came from a stint that I did at HomeServe. They were listed in the UK. They're a FTSE 250 company. They've subsequently been bought by the Canadian conglomerate Brookfield. But their heritage is in going into homes and fixing things in the home. And I actually initially created this product as part of an innovation lab for the HomeServe group. And when we had some traction on this product, we spun the business out as a separate entity, and that's how we ended up on the stock market as Ondo InsurTech. So that's my background. I have experience in sending plumbers in to fix things in the home, and some experience in home insurance. So it was a bit of luck that those things came together with the right opportunity at the right time.
Just one final question has to be, and I ask everybody that's up against the new technology industry, artificial intelligence, is that going to play a part at all? Are you engaging with that at all at the moment? I mean, you talk about an app that you've got which is active in trying to monitor what's going on. Does AI or can AI help you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's a business out there that AI won't have a significant impact over the coming years. So like any business, where you're interacting with customers, where you're scheduling engineers, AI can help make those processes more efficient. For us specifically, we're working on a new project out in Australia. It was backed by the largest insurer in Australia, IAG. And the stop taps, the quick story is the stop taps in Australia outside the property, because it's obviously hot in most of Australia. And this product was designed to work on the inside of a property. So we're running a collaboration project with them where we're developing a new version for the Australian market. And we've actually using AI to develop the core algorithm out there, and it's working really well. So I think us, like every business, it'll have a huge impact going forward.
I've got to ask you back at some point in the future, because I'm fascinated by this. We'll have to see how things go, but I'm looking forward to seeing how the company develops. But Craig, in the meantime, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jeremy.
It's a pleasure. That's Craig Foster. He's the founder and chief executive of Ondo InsurTech, a company that came to the main market here in London a couple of years ago.